All right, good morning, and welcome to a brand new day. You got the Aired Out podcast live wherever you're listening to. Maybe it's on Facebook, maybe it's on YouTube from Fly on the Wall Productions, Main Street, Barrie, Vermont. Absolute pleasure to have you with us tomorrow. G is going to be with us. Not sure about Rex on Friday, but we're going to close out the week with a bang. Don't worry. Weather-wise, we're looking at more of the same. Like I said yesterday, what you see is what you get here. I don't even need to look at my notes. Cloudy, rainy, 50. That's the way it's been. That's the way it's going to be at least through Saturday at this point. I love chatting with this lady on Wednesdays. Deb Phillips, are you there? Can you hear me? Oh, Deb, we're looking for you. Can you hear me? Deb Phillips? Over at The World? Have we lost you? I think we have. Are you there, Deb? Yeah, I think we have lost her. Well, we'll see if we can get her. As you know, Gary Haas and Deb Phillips are very busy people, and The World comes out every Wednesday. We've been talking about this for quite some time now, and Deb is a super lady who is one of the busiest ladies that I've ever met in my life, and we'll see if we can get her back. Deb, you there?
I'm there.
Hey, we got you.
I'm here.
Yeah. Hey, good morning to you.
Good morning.
I love hearing what's coming up in the world out on Wednesdays, not on Tuesdays anymore. What do you have for us today?
Well, we still have our Shop Where You Live promotion with a featured advertiser this week is Tucker Machines in Barrie. We have a special spring home and garden section and also a Memorial Day page to honor the brave men and women who lost their lives while serving in the American military.
Wow. Very, very nice. Just in time for Memorial Day, yes.
Yes.
And we're going to be chatting with Ron Tallman here shortly because they've got their parade coming up with the VFW and the American Legion. They all do such a wonderful job. Deb, is there anything in there about black flies, or will there be anything about black flies? Getting rid of them, or just trying to...
Oh, that's a good suggestion. I'll have to put that in and see if we can get that in there.
Well, we have a fresh copy coming today. Am I right?
Yes.
Fantastic. And always easy to advertise with you guys. All people have to do is just reach out to you. What's the best way?
Best way is by email or can call the World at 802-479-2582.
And vt-world.com.
Yes.
Excellent. So you're able to have a look at the online edition. Deb, thank you so much. Please say hello to Gary for us, and we'll catch you guys real soon.
All right. Thanks, JD.
You got it. Wednesday. Yes, it is already. And Wellness Wednesday is going to be underway at around 4:30 this afternoon. Washington County Mental Health has been doing this for a long time. It is absolutely free. It's not going to cost you anything. Summer Street, 23 Summer Street to be exact. They're doing Swedish massage, chair massages, acupuncture, acupressure. Again, everything is free. They have a full, long list of practitioners that are there inside that wellness building on Summer Street, and they are ready to offer up their services to you and show you how they might be able to get you on a pretty good road for changing your life. In any way, shape, or form. Mindfulness meditation is just some of it. Make plans. Be there Wednesday. They had a special opportunity to keep this going through the month of May. And again, it's Wednesdays, and I believe this is the final one. You deserve it. Get over there, 23 Summer Street today, if you can, for Wellness Wednesday with Washington County Mental Health. Sweethearts and Heroes is what we talk about on Wednesdays, and it is with my absolute greatest pleasure to introduce Carlotta Perantoni with me in the studio. Good morning, love. How are you?
Good morning, JD.
The principal of Lily's school, my daughter's school, has, before we even dive in this morning, has she been in your office?
Uh, all of them, all the scholars have been in my office. Have you seen my office?
Yes, I
Of
have.
course they come to my office.
Well, the reason why I'm asking is because I've asked her, and I've only ever been in Miss Perantoni's office just to give her candy, and
Hugs.
it's all flowers and sunshine. Am I right?
You are absolutely right. Absolutely.
You're staying loyal to her, aren't you? Yes.
We talked. We talked before I came.
Oh, you did, really? Listen, it is, I think that you are somebody who walks on water, frankly, and you do so much for our kids. Your staff loves you. The teachers love you. The parents love you. The students love you. Anyone who walks through the doors at Waits River School is going to know that almost right away, that you are friendly, you're loving, but you also naturally command some respect with your scholars there at the school. There's really something to be said about that.
I'm so appreciative. That's so kind of you to say, JD. It is the best world. I mean, all schools are the best world, but I'm a bit biased by Waits River, of course.
Sure, yes. And you've been there for
16. This is my 16th year.
16 years of going over the Orange Heights.
It's true. As I said, right now it's a little longer route with the road construction, but
right.
we'll be able to travel faster with the smoother.
Even in
blacktop.
all those snowstorms.
Yes. A lot of moose.
Yes.
I really have experienced wildlife differently.
Yeah.
There is, when they have the signs up that say watch for, they mean it. It's real. There's a reason.
Listen, you have had such an impact just on one little girl that I hear about all the time, who I've caught many times sneaking things into her backpack to bring to you. Candy, Reese's, whatever it is. And I've caught her red-handed before. What is this? Well, it's a lollipop. Who's this for? Miss Perantoni. She's not the only one, though, is she?
No.
Yeah.
No. I smile. I started where I said the whole reason you should become a principal is that there's a chance you're going to get 270 cupcakes a year.
Yes.
For each birthday, something's coming your way. So that's kind of been the running joke. But yes, no, toys, sweets. There are times, you call home and say, did you mean that your coffee maker was coming?
I got to tell you, and we're going to dive in here on what Sweethearts and Heroes has done just for your one school.
Right.
But before I do, I got to say, when Sherilyn and I were new parents and we were shifting through those early gears where it was time to go to kindergarten, it was really massive for us. We are older parents. We have one child. This is not our second rodeo. This literally is our first. And we were intimidated. We were scared on many different levels. We didn't know anything about our local school, really. And we remember day one, meeting you out there, holding signs, waving to the students who are arriving, hugging students, getting on school buses, moving around, directing traffic, welcoming staff. I mean, you juggle so much and wear so many different hats. And right away, we were like, we got a touchdown here. I mean, this lady, if she's like that, she's got to be running a great ship here at this school. So Just want you to know that that was right away. It was a big takeaway for us. You're always moving around. You never sit still.
It is true. One of my favorite stories is a parent who said her son said, Mom, she's everywhere. Every time you turn around and there she is.
Okay.
Which he was having a conversation as a compliment, like,
Yeah.
I know her. But I smile because, I am very visible, very present, very much part of their world, all
Yeah.
of them.
And these assemblies, these school assemblies, it's like herding cats. You're dealing with millions of people, parents who don't know where they're going. They don't know where to sit. They don't know what's happening. And you're out there, and you've got this megaphone sometimes.
It is true. I do love voice amplification. I do love it.
You're just telling me real quick. You've always had a microphone in your hand.
Oh.
What's the deal? What's the story about that? What did you just tell me?
I was saying that when I was in college, I worked at then richest department store in West Lab, Summers, as a cashier, and it's some of the best years. I would highly recommend retail for everybody at some point in their life. But anyway, at that point they had microphones, and it was every other register. And very early on in our relationship, they would only put me on registers that didn't have a microphone because I use them so excessively. And I really can be pretty straight up in my
Yes.
tone and such. And,
Yes.
they were like, okay, all right, yes, shut it down, girl.
You got 15 minutes to shop, and then we're closing
Right.
the doors.
I did the service. I had those scripted pieces. You have 12 minutes.
And here you are today. You're on the intercom. You're on the microphone. You're on the megaphone. You're really driving the bus for so many things. And during these school assemblies and holiday concerts and talent shows and everything, you've completely taken control of everything, and you're choreographing things on the fly.
It's true. I think it will be new information to you.
Okay.
And I hope I don't have you drop off your stool with
No.
this. I spent years as a school mascot and clowning after that.
Really?
Really? This is a true story.
Like literally clowning around, like
Like
professional clown.
Well, I would have considered myself a professional, but yes, the parades, the face makeup, the suits, the horns, the attempt at a unicycle. I did it all, man.
Wow.
I know. My senior portrait for high school is in a clown costume.
Oh, wow.
It was done by Barry Photo here, which was a big deal.
My gosh.
Back then. That's 100 years ago. I'm
Wow.
kind of elderly. So yeah, work in the crowd,
Yes.
being visible, that theatrical piece
Yes.
has always kind of been in my
Yeah.
character.
And your voice carries. You're up and down the hallways, and I've walked into school events, and you're like, hey, you right there, get over there, sit down. Come on, guys, we got to keep things on time here, and it's incredible, and everyone listens to you. Mm-hmm. Wow.
We're a family by all
Yes.
means. We're a
Oh.
team. The scholars, it's all about relationships.
Waits River School is K through.
Pre-K through 8.
Okay. How many kids total? Do you know?
We're at 270.
All right. And staff? Ish.
Total staff would be 55, including, every amazing human being that drives in the day that makes it all work.
Yes. And you have many, many members of your team that without them, your job would be just impossible.
It would be impossible without any one of them.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
It takes all of us.
And the students out there in the hills of the Waits River Valley, what an amazing bunch of little kids.
Oh, amazing. Outstanding humans.
You have to have a relationship with, you said how many kids now total?
270.
270 kids coming into your domain every day. And there's 270 different stories there.
Yeah.
And it's the full gamut from wonderful stuff to not so wonderful. And you've got to be celebrating. You've got to be happy for students. You've got to be empathetic to them, to what's going on behind the scenes in their life, which they're bringing with them to school, and they're carrying that weight around all day. You're like you're directing traffic. Stop and go, stop and go. I can't imagine this.
It is, yes, exactly as you describe it, which is why that big team is so necessary.
Yeah.
But yes, it's about meeting their needs in the moment
Right.
so they're available to learn.
Yeah.
So they can let go or feel supported and
Yeah.
move forward.
When I was in elementary school, kids were not hovering around the principal and surrounding her like bees to honey, loving up on our principal. I've seen not just commencement ceremonies, but I've been at the school and I've seen kids are just surrounding you. I see their faces. They light up when they're around you, and their teachers too.
Yes.
And you're right. You said it right. You guys are one big family there. And it sounds 270 kids, and that intimidates me big time.
It's a lot. Yeah.
There are incredible moments of great triumph at your school. Lots of camaraderie, lots of happy events. Just your field days alone, I think you guys should sell tickets to the community and have them come in and have water balloon fights and whatnot. You guys put on such a great experience at Waits River School, which is so far beyond just learning about math, science, English, and social studies. You guys embrace those students literally as if they are your own. It's very obvious.
It's true. The celebrations are so necessary because they work really hard all day, every day. Being a kid and learning, and the way that they're learning, and the exhaustion on their brain and their hearts, and the social pieces. There's just so much work involved in managing a day as a youth.
Right.
That taking those times that allow them to celebrate being a community and working and achieving goals together in a fun way, and us meeting them always where they're at, whether it be in social pieces or academic, just puts a level of respect and trust in the bigger entity.
And with all 270 kids, there's life in school and life outside of school. And some things are getting better and some things are getting worse. Maybe things are getting better at home, but you're getting worse at math. And there's some friction there, some frustration.
Yes, and you're right. It's a roller coaster.
Sure.
And it's unpredictable, and it all plays a part in their success as humans. But mostly, each of us can look and think back to our school days. Across the board, we have our earliest and our latest memories of when we were in school. But we have specific memories about a teacher, about a moment, about a year. And so that's what we focus on. What are the memories that we want them to have of us when they're 30? When they're 30 and they think about, Sally Sue, what's the memory they're going to have? And those memories sometimes are hard, or those moments are hard, but it's important for us to put the time into changing the memory so that, when you're 50 and you meet Sam on the sidewalk, you have a variety of things to think about, and you're excited to encounter the human because of the work they put into you.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, just a few days ago, I'm 54, and a few days ago I was telling, last Thursday, a story about when I got in trouble in third grade and with Mrs. Rockwell. And I can see it and hear it and everything just like it was literally yesterday.
Right.
And that was third grade. But, it was not just getting in trouble, but it was also remembering the way she reacted to it and the principal. And we take these things and we remember them. The only thing I remember in high school is that Mrs. Gledhill was drop dead gorgeous. And seriously, but the elementary school, I remember teachers that had an impact on me.
Right.
And I remember the principal as well.
Right. And you also can remember moments both with your peers and with teachers that made you sad.
Yep, very true.
And so those are the memory pieces that, we resonate on in saying, okay, what's the memory we want them to have of us?
Sure.
How is this going to sustain in their heart?
There is so much that a student empowerment and empathy team like Sweethearts and Heroes can do. But you guys you and Sweethearts and Heroes, Tom Murphy and Rick and others.
Amazing humans.
Amazing, literally superhumans,
Agreed.
superheroes. You all are doing something that I don't really remember too well when I was in elementary school. What I remember is that if something happened, it happened. If something was said, it was settled at the playground or whatever. But this is a whole different world, man. This is a different elementary school experience than when you and I were in elementary
Agree.
school. And Tom. And you all know that. I mean, this is a different world. This is different life. We've got social media. We've got cyberbullying. We've got stuff going on behind the scenes, but after school, before school. And how you guys are all able to get a good grasp of this. Try to keep it within parameters. Try to keep it contained. Keep kids, first of all, safe above all things, and then happy, and then educated, maybe not in this order. Learning things, flourishing, becoming a better human being, learning not just math and sciences, but also how to share, how to respect others, even when they're having a hard time dealing with and coping with what they're dealing behind the scenes. All of this, I mean, just the core curriculum there is just a small piece of everything that you must all be dealing with.
Yes. I think too, I think about Sweethearts and Heroes there. I can't say enough of the amazing work that they do. It's very empowering as an adult, to sit in trainings with them.
Yeah.
And have them validate, that the human part of our world with children has equity, is important, is necessary, and that we do have to teach. We have to teach the pieces that we expect. You can't assume people have the skills.
Right.
You have to pause and teach it, and then model it and practice it and celebrate it. And Sweethearts and Heroes is so good, amazing with their work with adults, but specifically with youth.
Yeah.
Because you bring a level of trust, you bring a level of respect, you bring a instant level of relationship where you really want to engage with someone that you're interested in. You really want to learn from them, and you don't want to disappoint them.
Yeah.
And so you work hard at what they're teaching you because you want to be celebrated by them.
Sure.
And Sweethearts and Heroes, Waits River Valley School, with the partnership of Sweethearts and Heroes, just brings that to every day as a culture.
Yeah.
You know, you have to have that foundation of consistency in your cultural pieces,
Hmm.
and that makes the family. You know, and you have blips,
Yeah.
but you have to stop and work through the blips together.
The amazing thing about Tom and his team is you're right. The impacts they have on adults, but just to get all of us to rethink the way that we're going about our day and our lives, the way to rethink the way we think or the way that we react to certain things, because life's not fair. And
Right.
we're going to be bullied. We're going to be mistreated in some capacity. Maybe it's on the playground. Maybe it's outside of school. Maybe it's at the cafeteria. And maybe, just maybe, it's during a time when a teacher or an administrator is not observing it behind the scenes. It's
Right.
and that's we really need these tools, all of us, to not only learn but also practice.
And take care of each other.
Take care of each other.
Support each other, have a voice,
Yeah.
build the skills so that as we age, we there's no parent that doesn't want their child to be independent and to have be curious
Sure.
about the world, but in support of the human beside us,
Right.
and the human in front of us, and so that takes years of practice, but it takes all of us teaming together.
Yeah, sure.
And giving the same message.
Lily, when Sweethearts and Heroes was at Waits River School, I don't know how many times they've been there, but
They've been there a few times.
yeah.
Yeah.
Lily came home right away and was nonstop
Yeah.
talking about it.
Yeah.
About maybe a week or two later, she had a situation. You know, little girl drama stuff. And I was like, listen, I remember it like it was yesterday. I was washing the dishes. She came in, she's telling me about this, and I'm thinking right away, I hope she reacted this way. I hope she reacted that way. Blah, blah, blah. Defend yourself. And the way she described how she responded and reacted was absolutely amazing to me.
Mm-hmm.
Frankly, I don't know if I could have done it. Mm-hmm. And she told me, and I learned this from those guys. Mm-hmm. Those guys. Of course, I played dumb. Who are you talking about? The Sweethearts guys.
Yes. They have an instant ability to bring excitement and wonder to a room.
Sure. They also ask some pretty different kinds of questions.
Oh, yes. Tough stuff.
Tough stuff that make all ages stop and think.
Right. And they're the same things that you as a parent and we as educators are continually instilling in them.
Sure.
But they come to think that's just us. You know, that's Dad, that's Mrs. Perantoni.
Sure.
When they hear it from others, and specifically Sweethearts and Heroes, they really own it.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
Core.
okay, my parents have told me, the school tells me, but I get it. This is real stuff.
Yeah.
This is meaningful.
Yep.
This is important. And I have a job to do, and my job includes taking care of other human beings
Sure.
to make sure that I do my part in making the world a better place.
Yeah.
And they stand tall and they walk the walk.
As if you didn't have to just think about things like payroll, hiring, administrative stuff. All of that stuff. Coordinating the day, planning field trips, all this stuff. Look at what you have to be. You have to be a mom and a dad to a lot of kids who, this is the foundation, man. This is make it or break it time. This is the beginning of a fabulous, productive, successful individual.
Oh,
We're either taking a
yes.
left or we're taking a right. And let's be honest, a lot of what we're learning isn't always being taught at home by two parents who never learned those things themselves, whatever they may be. None of us are perfect, but these kids are coming to you, and you guys, when I say that, you, your whole staff,
Right.
and Sweethearts and Heroes are trying to make sure that these kids are walking away with some real tools in their pockets on how to think about things and how to react and respond to things.
I know that you know this. I would never say anything to you that wasn't the straight up fact. And the straight up fact of it is, and I feel confident it's in every school. I can only own what's at Waits River because I experience that every day. But there has never been a day that a staff member in any capacity has said, I don't want this, I can't, I won't, I need, I there are many days all of us, including myself, will say, I'm overwhelmed, I'm sad, I'm frustrated, those pieces. But not a soul has ever even implied that there was a human being that came onto the grounds in a day that they weren't going to embrace and guide and help and do everything in their power to make sure they had an impact on how they made it through their day.
Wow.
And that truly is magical. It's the best profession on earth. I've
heard you say that before.
It is the absolute. I've never once in 38, 39 years said, gosh, what am I doing in this job? And it's, you say walk on water, and I think it takes all of us, to make this world go round. I don't think about that. I just purely love it and love them and truly hope that they know how amazingly intelligent and skilled and strong and passionate and what an impact they have on my life.
Speaking of which, the impact on your life, when you leave school at the end of the day, I can only imagine what time it is. But at some point, you're walking out of that building and you're getting in your car. Now, I know for a fact that you don't have any cell service from Waits River School to the top of the Orange Heights, which is about at least a good 10 minutes, maybe more like 15.
Oh, goodness. I'm a very slow driver, JD.
All right, 20. Let's go with 20 then. So there's, I want to know, like, what happens to Carlotta Perantoni when all of a sudden you're in the vacuum bubble, you're in that car, everything stops. You're not able to check your texts, your email, receive phone calls, make phone calls. Are you listening to the radio for that 20 minutes, or are you quiet? That's one question. Another question is, have you ever purged? Have you ever, all of a sudden things come to a screaming halt and you're flushed with emotion and maybe you got tears running down your face between the school and the Heights?
Yes. What do I do? First, I have this really amazing, beautiful family outside of school. And so the first thing I always think about is that next step of being with them.
Gear shift.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
But they are so connected to my day world. I mean in that they know how I'm connected to it. That I'm gonna be able to share hypothetical funny stories. I'm the best, and I say this all the time. I can always cry on the way home, but I can always turn it into a laugh too, which is why it's such a great world. I never let go of the job. It'd be really easy to say you did, but I think when you work in the social sector, um, it's hard to say, I'm not thinking about them. But I do family time, which is the best, um, and I do listen to the radio. I like country music, so I listen to that. My daughter recommended an audio um, podcast book. I
Yeah.
don't know the lingo. I kind of start, but that too kind of drops on the way. You have limitations, but
Yeah.
um, so yes, and crying. I cry. I'm a crier. It's annoying to me how much I cry. I mean, please, I'm not like, but all of my emotions, I can be embarrassed, happy, sad, overwhelmed, and I'm a teary person for all of them.
Within the same hour.
Right, right, right. But as far as emotional overload, yes, we have a file room in the office that has, a door that weighs 10,000 pounds. And Mrs. Thompson in the front office, she'll know because I just go in and shut the door and I just need to let it out. And then I come out again. And, that. And that's, probably 5, 6 times since I've been at Waits River. COVID,
Wow.
that was overwhelming emotionally, to take care of, to feel the weight of taking care of their health, keeping them safe, healthy, and keeping them safe socially. There were some tears then, but there's a lot of laughter and joy too.
Lily was upset because she couldn't see your smile with that mask on. And told me that she had to pay more attention to people's eyes. And this is from a kindergartner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Heavy stuff, man.
Heavy stuff. But
you got through it.
We did amazingly. Amazingly.
Not just taking care of the kids and trying to teach them, but also trying to console them and explain to them and tell them it's going to be okay while everyone's wearing a mask for not just a little while, for a long time.
When we have, and that's a big part of needing the support of Sweethearts and Heroes and the entity of each other, that there were a number of years there where we socially withdrew. And, for worry and a lot of it for required and a lot of opportunities for our youth kind of diminished because there were a couple of years that things didn't happen, and so the numbers. So you really have had to spend a lot more time teaching how to be a friend, how to engage in group activities, how to hear each other, how to listen.
Social stuff.
Yeah, and so that really, became part of our more intense world.
How did you find out about Sweethearts and Heroes?
Years ago, Tom and I have talked, Tom from Sweethearts and Heroes, and we don't directly agree on when they came, but I remember that the first 2 years I was at Waits River, I was the special ed director for the school and student services director. And so I know for a fact that my first encounter with Sweethearts and Heroes was during those 2 years because there was another administrator in the building and we co-planned some evening things with families. So that was my first meeting with them. And then since then, I was overwhelmed with excitement about their hearts and their relationships and their messages, which equally make you sad, just like that ride home that you talk about. But then I've had the opportunity to do a few professional development summers. Wells River Chevrolet is just amazing at sponsoring and supporting the schools and the professionals in learning more.
Yes,
and so
they are.
That's at least 2 summers that Wells River Chevrolet, have sponsored these teacher training opportunities, and we've gone as teams, and then as well had Sweethearts and Heroes, due to their sponsorship, come and spend time with us. I hope that any school that can looks into that sponsorship because it brings magic.
And it's so many Chevy dealers.
Yes, I'm sure.
Yeah.
My particular story, I
Is
do.
Wells
Yes,
River.
yes, but it is overwhelmingly. I mean, I say that in pride, um, at the commitment they have to helping our youth
Yeah.
of all ages become the best humans that they can.
Bingo. Yeah, I'm sitting here listening to you, and I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, the next time I make a run for Woodsville, I think I'm going to swing in there to Wells River Chevrolet, and just pop in, find out who the GM is,
That's a great idea.
and just say, just a quick, hey, not here to buy a car right now. Maybe it will be someday. But I just want to just take 5 seconds to just say thanks for sponsoring Sweethearts and Heroes and bringing them and giving Waits River School the opportunity to receive them.
Yes.
Bringing them to our town in the hills, man. We need it so badly.
And even, I mean, I know it sounds kind of hallmarkish, but even people who don't necessarily have youth in a school that are listening and hearing the amazing work that's happening, they stopping and giving them that high five of
Yeah.
saying, thanks for your commitment to our communities and to
Sure.
our kids and to our schools
Yeah.
and, all the positive stuff you're doing
Sure.
that has nothing to do with salesmanship of a vehicle, but has to do with your wanting the world to just spin around a little better.
Sure. Yeah. I know that when Sweethearts and Heroes comes through your doors, I know that you're able to take a little bit of a deep breath. And I know your staff is able to do that too, because you guys know what to expect.
Right.
You know what they're going to do. And they cater things to certain age groups,
Correct.
which is what a craft that is. And the thing about Tom and his whole team at Sweethearts and Heroes is they're able to keep that edge sharp all the time.
Yes.
You've got to know what to say and, more importantly, when to say it to these kids.
Yeah. I called Tom a bit ago. I had a question. I felt like I needed help to, some ideas and thoughts on, how to move forward. And I talked with him. I mean, he picks up the phone, first of all.
Yeah.
And
That alone.
that alone is huge because they're very busy people.
Yeah.
But they're so committed to anyone who calls or works with them.
Sure.
So he picked up the phone and I talked through the pieces and what I was going to do and where I was headed and my thoughts. And it was such an overwhelming compliment to me. And I'm not one that I don't need compliments, but we all need. It was so overwhelming to me. He said, Carlotta, you've got this. You did it. You've got everything in place. You don't need Sweethearts and Heroes. This is the way you should be moving. Or I would recommend, they don't tell you what to do. Or this is what his pride in the steps we were moving in. And I remember saying, it isn't that I need to team with you. I need to know that, I've got a sidecar and I've got that we, have people who can come in and the kids, they respect you and they value you and they need to hear your voice and see you. It's not about us taking a book and doing the practice. It's about extending our family and bringing in more and more people who form relationships with kids. But it was just, I embed what they teach so much in my being that for him to say that I was doing the right thing and that, it had such a moment of pride for me. Like I was like, okay, I'm this is great, Tom. Tom and Sweethearts and Heroes think we're on the right page, and I, no school needs that piece. I'm just trying to establish how important they become to us and how important their opinion is to us, and kids feel the same way.
Tom's also jumped in his car and said,
I'm coming.
I'm on my way.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And he would anytime. I could call now.
Unexpectedly.
Unexpected. And then, and worked with kids, just said, I'm here. Let me do some circle work. And, you know, it's kind of, I mean, Tom doesn't know this, but we were recently talking about, you know, 8th grade graduation is approaching. And so I said, who would the 8th graders, you know, are they thinking about having for a speaker?
Wow.
And, you know, and I said, I bet they come up, I bet they put Tom on the list, or, you know, any of the team that teams with him. So I haven't seen the list yet, but I'm betting it would be. But it's that powerful and that meaningful.
You know, it's also powerful is last night I was at a softball game. Mm-hmm. Lily was playing. Mm-hmm. And I look up, and there's this girl who I don't know walking around the side of the field wearing a Free Hugs sweatshirt on. Mm-hmm. These guys are really having an impact on your school.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And on, you know, on all of us, you know, the adults, you know, and there's so many capacities. I get their newsletters or their email that they shoot out, and, you know, I get excited about reading it and seeing, you know, what their impact was, what they've done, you know, what their thinking is.
At some point,
13 Pillows, a great book.
Oh, amazing. And you know, Pat Fish was just in here. Mm-hmm. The fact that they, you know, Tom quickly, I think, got to a point where he's like, this cannot be a one-man band.
Right.
I need people who embody and embrace this belief system of pushing hope and empathy ahead of all things.
Correct.
And he's surrounded himself with a team of people that really do that. And they're echoing him. I mean, they can hop on a plane or jump in a car and head to a school and take the wheel and do exactly what he's doing. And I refer to it as an empire.
I was thinking as you were speaking how amazing that is, because it's really easy for us to think that there aren't enough people who are out there working on the heart and soul of our youth and our people, and the empathy and the hope and resilience and curiosity. But they prove the opposite. There are lots and lots of people. We just have to open our eyes, and we have to talk to each other, and we'll like yourself, as we talk, I'm instantly aware that we're like thinkers with our hearts.
Sure.
You know, and that we want the best for every human on earth, that we embrace every human on earth, and we look for a way that we can help them to know they're important.
Sure.
So having those conversations and stepping out of the box is the first step, and Tom does that all the time.
He does, and a lot of these kids are leaving that school at the end of the day having something crawling around in their head that is a positive impact of what they heard, what they maybe felt. We always remember what we feel. We rarely do we always, you know, verbalize that. But these kids are packing up, getting the backpack on, getting in the bus or whatever, driving home, and at some point they're going to be revisiting or reliving what they saw, what they heard. Maybe it was just 5 seconds of the day that was a takeaway experience for them. And it's not like they're saying to their friends, oh, this was, and maybe they do. But a lot of these kids, like Lily came home and verbalized it, but it's the ones that don't, that you've positively impacted that you may not be able to observe and see that right away? I mean, look at the poker faces on so many of these kids. You don't know what kind of impact you're having.
Right.
But you've also seen kids at your school locked in tight to paying attention to what's being said when Sweethearts and Heroes takes the
Yes.
wheel.
And, we focus on kindness.
Yeah.
I
I see it everywhere. I see it on your
yes.
walls everywhere.
Right.
That's your priority over
Right.
all things.
Right. Which we see always, and it's real. That the youngest to the oldest
Yes.
will pick up their friend and make them, feel better or celebrate them
Sure.
or not. Kids are not as they're not looking for self celebration.
Yeah.
They really, really want to see group
Yeah.
celebrated, and they work hard to do that and to embrace each other.
Sure.
It's such a different world.
As a principal, I can't imagine being in your shoes to have to define what's normal banter, what's normal drama for that age versus where is this kind of shifting into an unwelcomed bullying type of experience, and you have to make that decision. Is this changing now? What do I have to do? How do I, as a principal, what do I say to the teacher who's dealing with this, or what do I have to say to this child, either the bully or the victim? Hey, look, I've noticed that this is kind of changing a little bit into something, and I'm going to nip it in the butt right now and take care of this. That's got to be difficult for you to do.
It is, and it isn't, because they're constant conversations.
Yeah.
Where we do not, think saying something is funny.
Yeah.
There's nothing. Don't make assumptions about other people's feelings.
Sure.
Don't make assumptions about other people's hearts. Stay in your personal space.
Yes.
Um,
Wow.
Take care of each other. Hold eye contact. Have those. Don't just say I'm sorry. It's so easy to say I'm sorry. You have to explain what you're sorry about and what you do differently.
And prove it.
Right.
Prove that you're sorry.
Right.
Tom and Sweethearts and Heroes. It's fascinating that they not only get up there and will preach this, but then they have students practice
Right.
and role play.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I know. And some of it, I smile because it seems like the volunteers are the ones you would always think are the least,
Yeah.
that wouldn't put their hand up and don't want to be in front of a whole school
Yes.
and do something. And then they do it. And that in itself, he builds this instant, it's almost like he can pick them out.
Sure.
And then he just builds up their confidence and suddenly they're flying. They're just so excited about engaging in this and learning and the message at the end.
Are there troublemakers? Are there students who are misdirected and who are struggling because they're constantly getting into issues?
I think there's not a human alive at any age who doesn't struggle with moments. Our emotions are big, and our hearts, when we are sad, we're sad, and it's helping. So yes, the troublemakers know there are behaviors, communication. What's going down, what's needed. There's you take care of each other, but in the right way. You have high expectations of people. You don't ever lower your expectations. You help them to grow and learn and develop as they go. But but there's no age where we're not on emotional overload
Sure.
at times.
Sure.
And it's knowing when to ask for help
Mm-hmm.
and when to take a walk and catch your breath, but also when to be held accountable.
Sure.
Some things you just have accountability to because it has a consequence.
I've had direct contact with bus drivers and staff at your school who have told me that if there's a situation on a bus, that you step right onto that bus and look out at all those students and get control of whatever that is and let these kids know, hey, you're here at this school right now. If you want to step off this bus and come into school and be a good person and learn something and have a positive experience here and a great day, you're welcome to get off the bus. And if you don't, let me know and I'll bring you home. And I'm not trying to speak for you, but you've made students feel like I'm lucky to be at the Waits River School. I'm lucky to. This is a privilege. I'm glad to be here where there's some structure and some parameters. And you've also done this at the backside of the day too. Look, not going to tolerate it. We know what you're doing. You're riding home in this bus. Behave yourself because I'm watching and I'm listening and I'm paying attention and I care. And I love that about you.
Yeah, though it's, of course, I don't know if I could never be a bus driver.
Never. Me
Well,
too.
I say that because it is a very stressful job.
Sure.
And has the highest level of responsibility.
Crazy.
Taking 60 kids
Right.
and being responsible for them, and after 7.5 hours of sitting in a classroom and finally having social pieces.
Right.
So, yes, it's really important to instill in them following the directions and helping and being accountable to all adults in our lives, which includes bus drivers.
Sure.
But most importantly, it is, I think kids come to Waits River, and I only can own Waits River. It's most important that they come excited and confident
Sure.
and comfortable and feel like it's safe to take academic risk,
Right.
and that they'll be heard and
Yeah.
they'll be respected, but that it is structured.
Yeah.
Everyone thrives on structure.
And it's expected that they're going to return the same.
Right. And they do that. I've had times where I say, okay, would you say this at the dinner table tonight?
Ooh.
Would you, if you were at the doctor's office, would you say? And so helping them to see that generalized skill piece is important.
Lily has said to me, Miss Perantoni says that if it happens again, she's going to call you or Mom. I hope she calls you.
Parents are amazing.
Yeah.
It was easy for me to assume how parents could do a better job of it
Yeah.
before I had children. And, it's a hard job. It's the best job on earth, the best job I've ever had, still have. But it's hard. And so teaming and collaborating and working with families
Huge.
It's just magical.
That was not really happening when I was in elementary school in the mid and late 70s. It was the kids are at the school, and then the kids are not at the school, and that's it. There wasn't a whole lot of There wasn't email. There wasn't phone calls going back and forth between mom and dad. What's going on over there? What's happening? Little Johnny did this or what? There wasn't a lot of that. It was the bus dropped us off and the door closed behind us on the other side of life. Now everything is merged together.
It is true. And being as rural as we are, it's two communities, Topsom and Corinth, that combine to one school. And those communities are so supportive of their school, of their kids. They have high expectations for the school, but they will help and guide and support and participate and advocate.
Not just the sporting events either.
No, everything.
The dances,
right.
the field
art,
days.
The music, the world language pieces, Sweethearts and Heroes, that cultural building, the character development, anything. They want to prepare. They want to make sure their children are prepared for their future and that they have high expectations of themselves and they set goals.
Yeah.
They want their youth to be excited about setting goals and achieving them.
I see here about 2,000 elementary school students and about 100 high school students from 6 North Country schools right here in our area are participating in community days during May and June with Sweethearts and Heroes. They're doing age-appropriate obstacle courses, team challenges, similar to the Spartan event that they did during that Youth Leadership Summit last September. Sweethearts and Heroes there's no fooling around with these guys. They take what they do and what comes off of their lips very seriously.
Yes. I'm hopeful that our next step with them, and we're just starting conversation, they have a program where they train middle school or high school scholars to facilitate and support the younger classes in the school around that circle piece, that character building, that leadership, to be a social hero.
Yep.
And that is really not mine, but our hope, for our next steps with them.
Yeah, I've got a senior from Ticonderoga High School who is doing just this. Just got certified in their K through 2 STEP program. And, having massive impacts on young children.
Yes.
Who look up to these older students.
Yes.
Big time. So she's going to be coming on the air with me, Haley. Is going to be coming on the air with me shortly. Is that something that's going to be incorporated at Waits River School?
I think that what will be incorporated is our next steps about building the capacity and building the commitment. There is the commitment, but building the middle school mindset of helping them to learn what their role can be. And that would be with the support of Sweethearts and Heroes. By all means, the more youth leadership that can be provided in a school around character development, hope, empathy, kindness, you couldn't possibly ask for more. They listen to each other. They need to support each other, guide each other, learn from each other.
With empathy comes a very difficult part of empathy and involves listening. And shutting your own thoughts off for a little while and just being quiet and listening with an open mind and let someone tell their full story before you interrupt them, which I'm guilty of because I have so many questions. But just to be quiet and listen to others We all have unique experiences in our lives, after school, before school. To teach, for Tom and Sweethearts and Heroes to be teaching other kids to become people like this.
Right.
He's creating a monster.
Right. And yes, to feel heard is, and not, you don't have to feel agreed with, but you need to feel heard. And teaching children to hear the emotions, the personal stories, the
Yeah.
connection, making connections they didn't ever,
Right.
and not making judgment.
Sure.
Just being available to hear and let someone release what they're feeling. You can't always fix things.
Sure.
You shouldn't judge things, but you can walk out feeling safe that you were able to release
Yeah.
something. I mean, it's magical.
Man, it's so easy to judge, though.
It is easy.
God, we're all guilty of it. You know, we see something. There is a huge difference between listening and hearing is biological. We need to listen more.
Yes. I try to use the word curious. I try to, which isn't easy for me. I too work constantly on pausing and listening, and sometimes I need reminders. Um, but I have a picture in my office that's a reminder for me to pause and be curious if we heard another way or we did something differently than the way that we're accustomed to. How I'm curious to know how it might come out, how it might end, and then go from there. So yes, teaching them curiosity
Yeah.
in other people's thinking
Sure.
is important.
We all have different interpretations of what's being said to us, a
Right.
different way of listening to it, a different way of understanding and absorbing what it is. This way, sitting in a circle, which, as you know, as Tom is always pushing, is frankly ancient. It goes back to when cavemen, I don't know. But to be all sitting in a circle, we can all see each other. We can all hear each other. We can all listen to one another. While someone's talking, we're observing the look on someone else's face.
Yes,
man-
his talking stick
Yes.
is magical. I don't know if you've seen his talking sticks, but you know that it's a great opportunity that if you have the talking stick, then you're speaking and everyone's listening. It's an easy reminder because it's so easy to jump.
Yeah. What is the thing that you do? You come into the gymnasium where there's billions of people, and you do something. You're like,
Oh yeah.
what the hell is that? What is-
It's clap once if you can hear me, clap twice if you can hear me. And usually at the start, and you're talking just like I am. And so once someone hears one clap, then, it rolls into it. It's sort of like the wave.
Yeah.
When you go to, I don't know, you go to things that people do the wave.
Yeah.
I act like I know. I've never been to anything where people did the wave. I've just seen it done.
Yes.
I'm really not a wave kind of person, but so yes, I taught fifth grade for a number of years, and that was the thing someone taught me. Now they have chimes, they have all kinds of different things.
Do you remember Cheech and Chong and
I do.
Sister Mary Elephant?
I don't remember Sister Mary Elephant.
Oh.
I never had television as a
All
child.
right. I'm just telling you, that's the opposite of
It is
what
the
you're
opposite?
describing.
That's funny.
You gotta listen to it.
I'm gonna have to
sometime.
look it
It's
up now.
amazing. When is Sweethearts and Heroes coming back to Waits River School?
Well, I hope in the fall for sure. I think we had them in January as a full group, And then Rick came back and worked individually with some circle work with the younger grades, and then Tom came back and did some individual work with the middle school. So I'd really like to have us look at the fall for a start off, sort of that jump off for the beginning of the year, and then go from there. So
I'm going to try to disguise myself as a student and penetrate the perimeter and get in there so that I can be so I can observe this somehow. What do I have to do? Hide in a duffel bag?
I have a lot of costume pieces in my office as well. So don't ever pause about
All right.
swinging in and just being able to be in disguise quickly.
All right. You got big duck boots, duck feet?
Oh, I
Okay.
have really big clown shoes.
All right, good.
Does that count?
All right. I would just love to experience. I'm
You can
envious.
come anytime.
I'm jealous that these kids get to hear these presentations and experience these impacts from Sweethearts and Heroes. Having them in here is great, but I would love to see them in their element.
Well, and I think too, it's good you say that. Another piece that they bring that we haven't done in a long time is to have a nightly community component.
Whoa.
Bring the families in and have them here and see and experience the work of Sweethearts and
Huge.
Heroes. Huge.
And I'll say this again, adults, even kids, make the time and take the opportunity if you're passing by one of these Chevy dealers to even just shoot them an email or drop something on their social media if you can, to just thank them for supporting Sweethearts and Heroes and allowing this amazing organization to get into as many schools as possible.
Agree. I'm so appreciative of them and of the Wells River Chevrolet and the Chevrolet as a whole, because it's interesting. I know, again, it's going to sound kind of goofy, but my original experience or training with Sweethearts and Heroes as a summer institute, I signed up for it simply because someone else sponsored it, and I wasn't going to have to use my professional development funds for it, and I could, just go and check it out.
See that?
And I went and I experienced it, and I have forever been altered by my learning and integrate it into what I do in a day. So I'm so appreciative of people sponsoring this work.
And look at all these different schools that they have been to right here in central Vermont. Waits River is only one of them.
Yes.
But I'm going to see here, and I know I've got it somewhere.
I think
all,
they were
all of the
recently in
schools.
Washington, weren't they?
Yep.
In Orange.
And in Newberry.
I love Newberry.
Yeah. Ludlow Elementary. Woodbury Elementary School. Lakeview Elementary. Brookside Elementary. Orange Center School. Hopefully, more schools will get in touch with them and say, we need you here. When can you come?
Agree. I can't stress the staff, the scholars. There's no one who doesn't instantly connect with them and value what they're doing.
Yeah. I can't wait until I see him again. I don't know when that's going to be. I can't wait to talk with Haley from Ticonderoga High School. And I can't wait to have these boys in here in the studio again.
Yeah.
All of them. Loudon was in here. Brian, Pat. The list goes on. And I can't wait to get Rick back in here, too. And what an absolute pleasure it has been to have the principal of my daughter's elementary school, Carlotta Perantoni, here in the studio with me, giving great testimony to the great things that Sweethearts and Heroes not only has done, but continues to do. And thank you for taking time out of your insane schedule to be here with me today.
Yeah, thank you. I am so honored to be here with you. I mean that.
Yeah.
Genuinely, it's been magical, and I appreciate being invited.
Will you come back?
I'll come back. Yes.
Got it. And hopefully I'll be able to sneak into the next Sweethearts and Heroes school assembly.
Yeah, I've got the perfect outfit for you.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, Carlotta,
Thank
so
you.
much.